Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to our Zoom chat this wonderful Monday evening. As you know, we are Team Eagles, and we are Mick and Jenny Daly, National Marketing Directors in your support line. Now, I think that most of you actually on the call tonight probably know our story, but then a lot of people listen to the recording after the event. So I'm just briefly going to introduce ourselves and that we joined this company many years ago, back in 1990. So what's that, 28 years now. We struggled big time for the first few years. This was when we lived back in Dallas, Texas. We now live in the beautiful mountains of Colorado, but we spent 11 wonderful years in Dallas. Mick's background was with IBM. They sent us across from England on a 3-year assignment. My background was teaching. And I tell you, 3 years on, we did not want to leave this wonderful country. And so I guess it was a question of timing for us. We were introduced to this company. We really checked it out. We went back to the UK to make sure the Home Office truly did exist. And we set to work. But I tell you, some of you, to give you hope, that we really struggled for the first few years. However, once we overcame our skepticism over Juice Plus and got great results, we started sharing it with people. And I guess the rest is history. I mean, from our customers, we developed a wonderful team. But right from the get-go, it was seeing the position of National Marketing Director that got our attention. And I know that's not the case for everybody. Some people join our business just to get a better price on their Juice Plus or cover their costs. But we were looking for that top position with $100,000 a year income, with an amazing benefits package and $1,000 at Christmas and so on. And after a little under 5 years, we achieved our goal. And as I said, the rest is history. Life is good. So having said that, Mick, I think I'll hand it over to you, and you are going to bring us up to date on the contest.
I am indeed. And I'll do this very briefly because we are just over halfway through the month. But since my last post in our Facebook group, it's really tightened up at the top. Look at this. Just a handful of points separating the top 7. Look at that. Amanda and Doylis and Nicole and Juliana. It's really exciting, folks. So keep up the good work. Back to you, Jenny.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to everybody who's on that leaderboard, and you still do have a couple of weeks. It's going to be a very tight finish, I think, as always. So moving right along to the topic tonight, which is qualifying your business. And I know that many of you on tonight's call have a qualified business. Some of you do not have a qualified business. Some of you are probably qualified and you don't quite know how you did it or exactly what it means. We're always hearing about the importance of qualifying our business, and yet for many people it remains a mystery, or at best it is somewhat confusing. So what I hope to do over the next few minutes is to unravel that mystery and help you understand what it's all about and why it's so important. So, getting started. What we're going to cover this evening in the next few minutes is to look at what is a qualified business, how do you qualify your business, why is it so important, where can you see if you've qualified your business.
Can I stop you a moment, Jenny?
Yes.
On my screen, that slide is slid off to the right. Can you move? Well, you can't, can you?
Nope, it's right in the middle of my screen.
Is anyone else having that problem?
Well, they're all muted, so they wouldn't know.
Well, anybody can unmute and tell me if it's only mine.
It's in the middle for me.
It's in the middle. It's obviously my computer. Good. In that case,
it's probably because you're a presenter.
No, I'm not.
Well, I see what you mean. Okay, well.
Just go ahead, carry on.
All right, the rest of you can see it fine, so that's fine. Okay, so finally, we're going to look at the difference between a qualified business and a customer qualified business, which again, I think can be a little confusing. But let me preface all this by stressing that you do not need to understand the numbers here in order to build a successful Juice Plus business. You know, we build business by sharing information about Juice Plus, building a customer base, and from that, developing a team. So, first and foremost, what is a qualified business? Well, you know, everybody, I expect, understands that the foundation of our business is the fast track. We've heard a lot about this on our Zoom chats over the last few weeks. A new rep gets started, they do the HLP, which is the Healthy Living Plan. They accumulate 500 promotional points, which we call PVC, which stands for Purchase Volume Credit. We can interchange those two words, points or PVC, it means exactly the same thing. And once they have those 500 promotional points, they are promoted to the position of direct distributor and the 6% commission level. After that, the next step is to do a 2,000 plus fast track, accumulating 2,000 promotional points. They're then promoted to virtual franchisee and the 14% commission level. And virtual franchisee is when you can start to qualify your business. And so this next step is to qualify your business with 1,000 paid points or PPC. And that then qualifies you to receive a 5% performance bonus paid on your DDs and above. Not your customers, not your own orders, not your dealers. You're already getting plenty of commissions on that. But the 5% is paid on your DDs and above. So we're looking at promotional points versus paid points. When somebody orders the trio, they are credited with 169 promotional points. I think it's 169.5, but I'm rounding these numbers off for simplification. But assuming that the customer pays in installments over the course of 4 months, those 169 promotional points become 42 paid points each month as the customer pays. Similarly, if they're ordering Complete carries 70 promotional points. But over the course of 4 months, as a customer pays, those are 17 paid points each month. So for promotion to DD, VF, or SC, Sales Coordinator, the entire product points are used, regardless of whether that order is paid in installments or in full. But here's the difference. For performance bonus qualification, that is your 5% PB, sometimes referred to as PBQ, performance bonus qualification, only the points from the amount paid are used. I think that's the beginning of the confusion. Promotional points versus paid points. So how do you qualify your business? Well, to have a qualified business, you need 1,000 paid points each month, which come from a combination of your own orders, the customer's orders, your dealer's orders, and direct distributors' orders, those who are typically frontline to you. From those 4 different sources. So let's give you an example here. Let's assume that as a rep, your own orders consist of a trio, the Complete, the Omegas, the bars. This is just an example. And so as far as the paid points go, you're ordering these on installments. So you are credited with 42, 17, 20, 17, and so on, a total of 96 PPC from your own orders. Now, you've developed a small customer base. Maybe you have 10 customers ordering the trio. And again, if they're paid in installments, that's 42 paid points each month for the trio order. 10 times that, 10 trio orders is 420. Just for the example I've given, customers, maybe you've got a total of 5 orchard and garden orders, 2 Complete orders, 5 soft chews, giving you a total paid points of 649. So the total performance bonus volume is 745 PVC. Now you remember that little magic number of 1,000. So you might think, yes, but we're only at 745. But remember that 1,000 also comprises points from your dealers and their customers' orders, and also your direct distributors and their customers' orders. So again, this is just an example. You may have some dealers with a trio order, and maybe somebody else has got an orchard and garden order, a Complete order, somebody's ordered the chews. In this example, your dealers are providing you with another 98 points, and then you have 3 or 4 direct distributors, maybe a few more, haven't yet been promoted to VF, so their points are still included in your 1,000. And in this example, those points add up to 280. So with the previous 745, that came, remember, from your own orders and from your customers' orders, plus the 98 from your dealers, 280 from your direct distributors, that gives you a total of 1,123 paid points. Okay, 1,123 paid points. Now remember that number, 1,123, because you only need 1,000 points to qualify your 5%, but you had 1,123. So 123, those extra points, carry forward to the next month, and they're counted as excess PVC or excess points. So these points can roll forward. If you have more than 1,000 in 1 month, you can roll the excess forward to the following month. So in this particular scenario, you've rolled forward 123 points to the following month. So then you would only need 877 that following month to qualify for your 5%, because 877 plus the 123 excess gives you 1,000 PVC. The maximum excess you can carry forward is 1,000 points. Okay, that's the most that you can carry forward. But a great goal to have, and I know a lot of you are in this situation, as are we, accumulate enough points from your customer orders so that you have 1,000 excess points at the end of every month to roll forward to the next month, so that you're actually qualified for your 5% before the month even starts. And that can certainly take away the stress as the end of the month comes along and people get to sort of, 800, 900 points. They think, I've got to hit the 1,000 this month. But if you've already got those excess points, you're in really good shape. So the third point now, the third topic, why is it so important to qualify for your business? You hear that little number 5%, and you may think, well, as a sales coordinator, we get paid 22% in commission. So why am I so concerned about this little 5%? Well, believe me, once you have a mature business, that 5% is going to be the most significant part of your check. And I want to give you a little example here. It's purely fictitious, if you like. But let's say we have a rep called Sarah, who is a sales coordinator. Sarah sponsored Carol, who became a qualified national marketing director. She did really well. Carol sponsored Jane. Jane sponsored John. John sponsored Mary. Mary sponsored Sue. Now, Carol, in this particular month, she's doing very well as a QNMD, and she has about 20,000 PVC running through her business every month. Jane is still a virtual franchisee, 14% commission level, but she still does about 500 a month in points. John's a sales coordinator. He's doing over 2,000 a month. Mary is a VF. She's doing about 750. Sue is a sales coordinator. She's doing about 4,000 in points every month. So that totals over 27,000 points in a month. If Sarah has a qualified business, she's going to be paid $1,383 on that volume. If she doesn't have a qualified business, she won't get any of that. It'll roll up to somebody above her who does have a qualified business. Now look, this is only one line that I'm showing you. Sarah, as a sales coordinator, probably has 3 or 4 different lines. So when she has a qualified business, you can see that 5%, it's a small percentage, but when it's paid on a large volume, it certainly adds up to quite a significant amount. So the next question really is, where can you see if you've qualified your business? So this screenshot should look very familiar to all of you. Go to your virtual office. This is the first page. You'll see the orange square with the KPIs, which stands for Key Performance Indicators. And if you look at the second number here, PV, ignore the PVC, the 461 at the moment, and the POB. Just look at the PB, which stands for Performance Bonus. That shows you what your current performance bonus total is currently. Now, you might look at that. If you look at the date up here, this was a screenshot on March the 18th, and you might think, well, this person isn't qualified because they do have a couple of weeks to finish the month. But remember the benefits of that excess PVC, because if you were to click on the orange square, it'll take you to the next page, and here you can see the performance bonus is 516 points, but under that it shows you that you have 1,000 excess points, excess PB from the previous month. So even though the number that you see on the first page of your virtual office is 516, this person is in fact qualified even at March the 18th, halfway through the month. There's another place you can see if you've qualified your business, and hopefully this looks familiar to a lot of you, but I know some people are too scared to even open up this PVC report, which the correct name is the Downline Growth and Current PVC Report, but we'll just call it PVC report for short. So I am going to just spend a couple of minutes explaining this to you because, as I said, so many numbers. But let me reiterate, if you are not a numbers person, don't worry about it. You don't need to understand it. I love numbers. I was a math major in college, but you don't get paid for knowing the numbers. Don't look at this as rows. Look at this report as columns. Now this, as you can see, is an extract from Mick's PVC report. It was printed on February the 1st, so it's actually giving you an idea of how the month of January finished up. This is from the final PVC report in January. You all receive this 2 or 3 times every month, depending upon your position. Typically the 20th, the 25th, and the 30th of the month. So let's look at the columns. The first column on the left is purely the line number. It starts at 1, goes all the way down for each line. The next one describes the level that the distributor is to you. Now we deleted the names just for the sake of privacy here. The next column would be the telephone number. The next column is the title that rep has reached, followed by the date that the title was achieved. And the next 3 columns I want you to totally ignore, because what we're going to look at is columns 4, 5, and 6. In fact, I remember it was explained to me a long time ago that the left-hand side of this report shows you numbers that relate to promotions, promotional points. The right-hand side of this report reflects your check. It's the points that you are actually paid on. So look at column 4, which is showing you points from January of 2018. There are actually 2 columns under column 4. So there's PBQ, there's POBQ. We're not going to look at that this evening. It stands for Promote Out Bonus Qualification. It only applies to sales coordinators when they have a sales coordinator under them. It's an additional 4%, but we're not going to look at that tonight. We're looking at the column that shows you your points, your performance bonus qualification points for January. So this rep here had finished up the month with 1,008 points, so they were qualified. So was the next rep with 1,325. 1,017 qualified, not qualified the next one. 1,011 here, we have a qualified rep. The next 4 reps did not have their 1,000 paid points, so they weren't qualified. But here we have somebody who did 2,636 points in performance bonus, paid volume, so they were also qualified. So that's the column that shows you whether or not you are qualified. But remember also, we have excess points as well, excess PV carried forward, and that's where column 5 comes in. Because remember, these were the points for January. Column 5 shows you December's excess points. So if we go to this next slide, you can see it's underlined. This is excess performance bonus points. The person who was qualified with 1,008 points, they also have 820 excess from December. Because they had 1,008 in January, they now have an additional 8 points to carry forward to their excess. So that the next month they won't have 820 excess, they'll have 828. This person who had 1,325 also had 958 excess. So clearly the 325 can roll over to the next month. However, remember, you cannot roll forward more than 1,000. So on next month's PVC report, this person will see that they have 1,000 excess points. And similarly, as we go down, this one has 1,000 excess. This person here had qualified the business, which is wonderful. Looks like they had no excess from the previous month, so they probably weren't qualified back in December. But down here, the person who had 2,636 also had 1,000 excess points, in great shape for continuing to qualify their business every month. So moving on, and again, if you don't understand the numbers, don't worry. If you would love to understand the numbers, you can always watch the recording of this and go through it again and pause in places just to make sure that you can clarify certain areas. But let's move on now and look at the difference between a straightforward qualified business and a customer qualified business, sometimes referred to as self-qualified business. So in the earlier example that I showed you, your own orders and your customers gave you a total of 745 points. Your dealers and your directs added another 378, so you were easily qualified with 1,123 points. Now, being customer qualified is when your own orders and your customers' orders total 1,000 PVC or 1,000 points. That's when we say you are customer qualified or self-qualified. At that point, you are not depending on your dealers or your direct distributors to help you qualify. That's the meaning of customer qualified. So a great goal to have is the equivalent of 24 trio customer orders. Now it could be, complete orders, soft chews, tower gardens, whatever. But in this example, if you had 24 trio customer orders, including your own, on installments, giving you 42 paid points every month, 24 times 42 gives you 1,008 PVC. Those are paid points in a month. So you have a customer qualified or self-qualified business. So you might ask then, well, how can I see if I'm customer qualified or not? Well, let's go back to this PVC report. Same PVC report. We have this person here who qualified their business with 1,008 points. Now, over in column 6 has 2 columns under it. By the way, the RN and the DT, that stands for renewal date. You see all these 18s down here? That merely means that all these reps have renewed their distributorship through 2018. We're looking at column 6, and this has a preferred customer count, CNT there. That's a number of preferred customers, and the points that their orders have generated, the PV, the purchase volume that the orders have generated. So what this tells us is that of that 1,008 points, 386 of those points came from 12 customer orders. If you look at the second person here, 1,325 were their total performance bonus points for the month. Of that 1,325, there were 30 customer orders generating 992 points. That person was so nearly customer qualified, but just 8 points short. So you might think, well, where are the rest of the points coming from? Well, remember that these points here include your dealers and your direct distributors. So in this scenario, the 992 came from her own orders and all her customers, her 30 customers, and the rest of it came from the dealers and directs. Similarly here, a qualified business with over 1,000 points. Of those 1,017, 822 of those points came from her 16 customer orders. The rest came from her dealers and direct distributors. Let's jump down to the bottom here where we have 2,636 PB points. And of those points, 1,188 of those points came from 28 customer orders. So this rep here is not only qualified. They've not only qualified their business, they are actually customer qualified or self-qualified because they have more than 1,000 points from their customer orders, 28 customer orders. Well done, that rep. Awesome. There is somewhere else you can see if you're customer qualified. Going back to the virtual office and the KPIs again, if you look at the orange square. Now, this I think is confusing. We said that PB stands for Performance Bonus Qualification 516. PVC typically means purchase volume credit, but in this scenario, they use the PVC to mean personal volume credit. And personal volume credit is exactly that. It's your own personal orders and your own personal customer orders. So those two numbers there show the points towards your performance bonus qualification, which have to be 1,000. And once your personal volume credit reaches 1,000, that means that you are customer qualified. Now, being customer qualified, there's no additional percentage that you're paid. However, I know that they ran a computer-generated report some time back, and they compared two different reps. They both had the same number of qualified businesses, but one had, let's say there were 12. Let's say there were 12 club. They had 12 qualified businesses, but the one who had 12 customer qualified businesses, her check was very much higher, significantly higher than the one that just had 12 qualified businesses. They weren't all customer qualified. So that's a great goal to have. That's an awful lot to absorb. If you would like more detail, then go to this link, www.teamjp.net/qualify-your-business. This will give you an overview of what I've just covered. There are a couple of excellent videos there which you might choose to watch. One of them features Kurt Beavers, who is our sponsor in the business. The other one features Brian Rose. I love Brian's voice. We've seen him on, or heard him on many of the cartoon videos. But they both do an excellent job of giving more detail here because, I've given you a very simplified overview. You could get into a lot more depth, but you really don't need to. But if you go to this teamjp.net page, you'll also see this chart here. And again, this was run from the Juice Plus company's computer. These are an actual analysis, if you like. What they showed was that if you have a qualified business and you have one or two qualified businesses on your team, qualified reps, then you can expect to be making about $500 a month, $6,000 a year. When you're in the 3 club, which means you have at least 3, maybe as many as 11 qualified businesses on your team, your income is likely to be about $1,250 a month. When you reach the 12 club, which simply means you have 12 qualifiers on your team, then with somewhere between 12 and 38 qualified reps on your team, your income is going to be over $3,000. In the 39 club, when you have more than 39 qualifiers on your team, your income will be probably in excess of $10,000 a month. And of course, you can go up from there to 50 club, 75 club, and 100 club. So pretty exciting. But you know what? If you are not excited by the numbers, then here's another reason to qualify your business and to help your team members do the same. Because when you have 12 qualifiers on your team, you will be in the 12 club and you will receive an invitation to the Elton Awards at the fall conference. Now, this is an incredible evening. It's a black tie affair, long dresses for the ladies, cocktail reception, sit-down dinner, awesome meal, fantastic entertainment, and then awards and recognition. It really is an incredibly memorable event. Think of the Oscars. It's very much like that. And then when you have 39 qualifiers on your team, you're in the 39 club, you will then receive an invitation to the leadership retreat at the spring conference. And here the company gives us 2 nights accommodation at a most fantastic resort, either typically in California or Arizona. They also give us $200 credit to our room to use in the spa or to play golf or do whatever you want to do with it. They wine us, they dine us, and they have the incredible time for 2 or 3 days just prior to the conference.
As an added incentive, you don't have to wait till 39 club. you will also be invited when you make National Marketing Director.
Yep, absolutely true. So that's it from me. And, you know, we're not going to open it up for questions tonight.
Can you stop screen share?
Stop the screen share, which has disappeared behind your little, I can't see it. Can't do it. How can I move you out of the way, Mick? Oh.
Okay, I fixed it. I did screen share.
Okay, good. Am I good? Yeah.
Can you see Team JP?
I can.
Okay, good. So before you close it out, let me just quickly explain how you can find the page at teamjp.net relative to qualifying your business. You can just type qualify in there and hit enter. Click there, and then this is what you'll see. And these are the videos Jenny was mentioning. Great one by Kurt Beavers, another great one here. And that will fill in all the very few gaps left by Jenny's awesome training.
Well, let me stress what I said at the beginning. You don't need to understand all this in order to build a very successful Juice Plus business. But Mick, you can unmute everybody if you like. As I said, we won't take questions right now. If you do have questions, I would strongly encourage you to watch those 2 videos, maybe watch this recording as well. And then if you still have questions, which you probably will have, then, you know, contact us, email, Voxer, Facebook, whatever, and we'll certainly be more than happy to clarify everything for you then. So hopefully you found that helpful, yes?
Yes.
And next week, I will be the featured trainer, but I will not be doing the training. That's because we're going to have a group discussion on the most basic of basics in our business, sharing this wonderful product line, Juice Plus. I will coordinate, I will orchestrate, but I want every person who comes to next Monday Night Zoom to bring one example of sharing Juice Plus, which was different, surprising, exciting, joyous, or even challenging. Bring one example. You could share it over coffee, by phone, by email, by text, by Facebook Messenger, any way you like. But come and give us an example and let us all learn from all of our individual experiences. So on that note, thanks all for joining us. Bye-bye. God bless. Have a great Juice Plus week, and you know how to find us.